Wasted World of Sports, ahoy, welcome back. The second game of a blockbuster Saturday night of Rugby Championship action. The Wallabies playing host to Argentina. Both teams who were on the receiving end of very devastating defeats last time out. Looking to right the wrongs. We just saw a great game to kickstart tonight's action, the All Blacks and Springboks. And we're 10 minutes away from kickoff here to see if this game can provide the same level of intensity, the same action and atmosphere. Zoe plays, ahoy! Welcome back. Just make sure that we're all up and running there. We are good. Fabulous. Dan Jam, ahoy. Am I going to commentate the Tour de France after the game? Hey, there's an interesting prospect. Maybe I could commentate the Tour de France whilst riding on my exercise bike. A stationary bike, of course. It'd be, well, I suppose I could do it. A GoPro and everything out on a real bike, but yeah. Never say never, I suppose. Let's just say it wasn't on the cards. It certainly was not on the cards. I used to love me some Tour de France in my younger years. I always used to follow along with it, but I must say that in recent times, I certainly have not. But there's an interesting thought. Maybe I should do it sometime. It could be part of my fitness regime to try and get myself back into shape. I mean, honestly, you guys should check out some of my Intoxigamer videos from around about year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. I was in much better shape. Much better shape back then. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Let myself go a little bit. Vobsy, ahoy! But yeah, I didn't look so much like Jack Black back in those periods of Intoxigamer streams. So maybe that could be part of it. Maybe I could follow the Tour de France, and the catch is that I have to do the entire stream on the exercise bike. I like it. All right, so we're going to do our best to keep an eye on both games here because there is also a blockbuster happening in the NRL, the Melbourne Storm, Sydney Roosters. Oh, I'm so torn. I'm actually legitimately so torn on that game. Look, I think the Wallabies will win and win quite comfortably here tonight. In the rugby, I feel like that Roosters-Melbourne game, it's going to be a tight one. It's a little bit too late for me to change my tip because they're about to kick off, and they have kicked off over there in Melbourne for the Storm versus the Roosters. I feel like I might have lost a trick, though, not switching my tip at the last minute to the Roosters. I've just got this feeling that they might back up better after Origin than Melbourne. But anyways, we'll see. 7.5 minutes to go till kickoff here. The big storyline here, of course, is Michael Cheika coaching Argentina, taking on Eddie Jones back at the helm of the Wallabies. That is the big storyline. It's Aussie versus Aussie. Which Aussie is going to come out on top tonight? We'll find out in approximately 7 minutes' time when the teams run out onto the field. Very much looking forward to it. It should be a cracker of a game. Hopefully. Argentina, they're always a little bit hit or miss, I find. They're a team capable of beating the All Blacks on their day, and they have proven that. They've proven as much. They can do it. They are capable. They just don't do it with any sort of frequency. Now, the All Blacks defeating the Springboks earlier today, and I spent about 5 minutes going on about a dead set certainty as far as sports betting went, and I said a dead set certainty was Aaron Smith, anytime try scorer. And wouldn't you know who won the pony? Over he goes, first try scorer of the game. A fabulous call. Do I have anything special to add to this one? I really don't, in all honesty. I've got no dead set certainties in this game because this could go either way. Both teams have proven in the past that they're very hit or miss. So I would not tip either side with any confidence coming into this game. And that's what makes it so intriguing to see how this plays out. Because realistically, depending on which team shows up from both sides, could be a cracker. Or it could be a complete and total landslide, one way or the other. I dare say if anybody's going to win and win big, it would be the Wallabies. Should Argentina get the victory, I think they sneak it away. So, I don't know if that helps any, if that narrows it down. But a very tough game to call, nonetheless, that's for certain. With 5 minutes to go till kickoff. Let's check out some of the odds. May as well. Look, I've got that win from earlier to play with. So let's see if we can come away with something, anything. As the Melbourne Storm earn themselves a penalty 3 minutes into the NRL contest. Big game happening over there, of course. You get the feeling like the Sydney Roosters are playing for their life. This is their season. If they're going to stand up and make a statement and get themselves back into finals contention, it starts tonight. Can they do it? I wonder if anybody's tipped them, apart from Vobsy. We'll see. I thought about it. I seriously thought about it. But anyway, Wallabies, Argentina here coming up in 4.5 minutes' time. Let's see. Can we come up with some sort of bet? We're 1 from 1 on the bets tonight. Aaron Smith coming through in the anytime try scorer market. I might actually say Argentina with the line. Argentina have got a 9.5 point head start. Now, it's only worth $1.85. That's not actually really good value. I'm not a fan of that value, so I might actually go ahead and ignore that. That's not good enough value for me. Anytime try scorer is where we might want to look tonight. It's probably going to be expansive from both teams. So that would bring the back lines into the equation. But look, I certainly have not as much confidence as that first game. I was 110% confident in that earlier game that Aaron Smith was going to be an anytime try scorer. I had that with 110% confidence. I don't have anybody here in this game the same level of confidence. I really don't. And I wouldn't have any confidence at Australia winning 13 plus James Jason Bourne. I'm actually going to sit this one out on the betting market. One of the big things about sports betting is you've got to know when to back away and just say, I got nothing. And in this game, honestly, I've got nothing. This game, is so hard to predict. Both sides can either be world beaters or cellar dwellers, depending on the night. You never know which one's going to show up, which one's going to run out on the evening. Two very difficult teams to predict, two very difficult teams to back in any capacity. So I'm going to raise my hand, be happy with my 110% dead set certain call from the earlier game, and I'll leave it at that for tonight, I think. And then I'll throw it all the way tomorrow in the NRL on same game multis. Speaking of tomorrow in the NRL, might endeavour to do all the games. I'll certainly do the Sharks game. I've got absolutely no faith at all in my Sharkies tomorrow, taking on the Warriors. The Warriors are a hoodoo team of the Cronulla Sharks, a big hoodoo team. And playing it over there as well. The Sharks are going in slight favourites at the bookmakers, but I can't say that I agree. I would actually have the Warriors slightly ahead in this contest. Oh, you're going to the Eels game, Jason Bourne. Oh, that'll be cool. That should be an enjoyable experience. That's going to make it very, very difficult to win the leaderboard, but who knows? Look, Vopsy seems like a good chap, and maybe, just maybe, Vopsy, having already won 2 in a row, will win that 3rd in a row and go, you know what? I'm just happy being at the top. I would like to pass my prize on to somebody else. You never know. Oh, you're gonna have the stream running in the pocket. Cheeky. Oh, hey, maybe even a cheeky. I don't know what kind of data you've got going on, but maybe even a cheeky Discord call from the stadium put you on the live stream. Cheeky call from the stadium over on the Discord. That could be a bit of fun. But anyways, teams are getting ready to run out onto the field here. A game that could go absolutely either way, in my opinion. Kanye Ketchup, ahoy. You called 32-17 last game. You did say something along those lines, didn't you? Yeah, you did. Good call, Kanye Ketchup. Heel fries, ahoy. Are you going to the game tomorrow, Heel fries? Can you imagine? Wasted world of sports. See, this is why I really need to get off my ass and get merchandise sorted. I mean, it would be up to you guys if you were willing to actually wear it to the games or not, but that's a whole other thing that I've potentially just made a horrible assumption of, isn't it? I could do team-themed Wasted World of Sports merchandise. Canberra Raiders. The Canberra Raiders themed rather than Canberra Raiders. It could be Ricky's Green Goblins. Wasted World of Sports. Ricky's Green Goblins. And then it could be that Homer Simpson doing the Viking clap. The zombie fingers picture. Oh my God, you remember that, Dan Jam. Good job. Good job. Kanye Ketchup has gone 29-14 in this game. 10 minutes has gone in the NRL, and it is still 0-0. So it looks like it might be a tight old tussle set up over there between the Roosters and the Storm. 29-14 in favour of who, Kanye Ketchup? That is the question that needs to be asked. Who are you backing? You can't just throw a scoreline out there. You've got to give us a... You've got to give us a a thing as well, a thing to go by, a team. Wallabies, there you go. There you go. You can't sit on the fence and just give us a score. James, you went Manly last game, mate. You went Manly last game, which has now given me the jump on you in the Waste of World of Sports tipping contest. Dan Jam, that was the first of the streams that you caught. Hooked you in. Nice. Nice. Of all the things to get hooked in by, it's zombie fingers. Kanye Ketchup says, thanks for all the commentary, Wasted Water Sports. Not a problem, Kanye Ketchup. I enjoy it. I very much enjoy it. The whole way that Wasted Water Sports was born was because I sit around watching the games, yelling at the TV anyway. I may as well yell at the TV and go live on social platforms, right? At least then I've got some regular friends to join me rather than just yelling at the TV on my own. That sounded really lonely and depressing, didn't it? I didn't mean for it to be. All right, so Jason Bourne's going Corabete, Wallabies 13 and under 55, which I think is a big call. Under 55 is probably decent. That's probably a decent shout, unders, actually. This is the sort of game, though, I'm telling you, this is the sort of game that very easily... As Xavier Coates has made a break upfield. Xavier Coates, can anybody stop him? He's going for the corner. He's getting away, and he scores the try. And I've now just realised that it's a replay, and the try's already been confirmed. Xavier Coates has indeed run away the length of the field to put the Melbourne Storm up 4-0. The Roosters playing for their season, in my opinion. It's hanging by a thread, and it could all be over tonight. And Xavier Coates has gone the length of the field to put the Storm up 4-0 over there in the NRL. We will do a lot of jumping back and forth around the grounds following that NRL contest tonight. Don't you worry. We'll keep very good tabs on that. Argentina are out on the field. Here come the Wallabies now. In front of their home team, do I just ever so slightly hear some boos around the stadium? Am I doing the tennis? I should imagine the tennis would be very difficult to do. I would love to, but the thing about tennis and me is, like, I would love to have been able to turn back time and do live coverage of some of those Federer and Nadal classics from back in the day. Some of those Grand Slam finals between those two. I remember being in the moment and just so entertaining and so enjoyable. But tennis is so hard to predict, isn't it? It's a little bit different, like a very, very dull game of footy can still be enjoyable, but a demolition job, just a destructive, one-sided, boring game of tennis, I would struggle, and I think we would all struggle to get through it, in all honesty. So it's a tough game. It's the same with the cricket. Rugby league, rugby union, it's easy. It goes for 80 minutes, okay, not counting extra time, should it eventuate. But if it eventuates in extra time, that's a good thing. It means it's an exciting game. But you've got 80 minutes. I did see that, Jason. It got me very excited seeing that the current top of the leaderboard went for the Tigers, went for the upset. It's kept us in it. It's kept us all in it. And don't forget that in the next couple of rounds, when the NRLW starts, the NRLW becomes part of the tipping contest. So there's a lot more points on the line. None of us are out of it yet. And old mate Craig Arney at the top of the table throwing points away like that. That's just given us even more opportunities to hang in there. Hamish says cricket is the sort of game you'd rather play than watch. Absolutely, absolutely. See, I would cover the cricket if we had a team of people. And look, I'm working on it. And what I mean by a team of people, obviously, is if you've ever watched the actual cricket coverage, you'll know that they go for about 15 overs or so, and then they tag out, and another commentary team comes in, and they take the next 15, and then they tag out, and somebody else comes in. And that's the way it goes. I would have to have something like that. I can do a full game of footy, no problems. By the time we get to the third game of footy, I am struggling a little bit vocally. I do admit, it happens every time. Cricket, forget about it. It's hard to get through. It's hard to actually sit down and watch a whole game without getting up and moving around, let alone actually standing here and calling it. That said, I do have some really good ideas for the coverage. Should we do it? Should we do the T20 World Cup? Is one that I'm considering. And I do have some ideas for making that a little bit more exciting on the stream. But yes, at the moment, that is all dependent on, can I gather some sort of team of people, just having somebody around to tag out, just to have a little bit of a break when things are going a little bit slow. Because even in T20, cricket has got that slow point. It's all guns blazing for the first 6 or 7 overs, and then they just start to bang it around, looking for ones and twos, up until about over 15. So you've got that period of over 6 to 15 where it's just like, what am I going to talk about? How am I going to... You understand. You totally understand. Anyone who's watched the game, whether you love it or not, you've got to admit there are a lot of down points. No, he definitely hasn't missed putting his tips in. He definitely hasn't, because he went for well, actually, maybe he did. Come to think of it, maybe he did actually miss putting his tips in. Because what? At the moment, he's got Tigers, Broncos, Cowboys, Storm. That's actually all the away teams at the moment, isn't it? Well, I actually wonder if... Because remember, we were banging on about this the other week. We were joking around about kicking him out because he wasn't part of the streams. I actually wonder if maybe he is part of the streams. He's just somebody who doesn't chat. And he's gone, oh, well, if they're going to kick me out, bollocks to him. And he hasn't put the tips in. He's just gone, bollocks it. They're going to kick me out anyway for being too good. Maybe that happened. But anyways, I'll tell you what, if you're going to miss your tips, you've picked a very good week to get the away teams by default. A very good week. Because, I mean, apart from that Tigers game, Broncos, Bulldogs. Broncos were always going to win that. Cowboys, Manly. Cowboys were a pretty good shout of that. Storm are the away team against the Roosters. They're a decent shout of that. Sharks, Warriors. Look, Sharks will probably lose, but still, that's not the worst away team to get. Dolphins, Panthers. Panthers the away team. Eels, Titans. Not the worst weekend in the world to get the automatic away teams. That's all I'm saying. Anthems are done and dusted. The Wallabies and Argentina are ready for kickoff. Gabriel Amaya, welcome along. Wallabies versus Los Pumas ready to kick off. And this game, as I said, it should be a close game. It could go absolutely either way. We're just waiting for Gullo to get strapped up at the back here. You would have thought they'd done that before they ran out. And the countdown is on. Kickoff about to get underway. Yes, we are off. And the Wallabies will get first use of the ball from the kickoff. Nick White's found himself back in the squad. I really don't understand how. How does Nick White keep his spot in this team when you've got Tate McDermott sitting there on the bench twiddling his thumbs? It makes no sense to me. Wallabies clear. Argentina ball. What a statement it could be if they could come up with points. And now stepping through the gap. Here they go. Argentina, 22 out now. Cinti gets through the gap. Carreras plays the ball back to himself. Argentina, I was just talking about what a statement it would be. And they are well on the front foot here. 5 phases in. Inside the Wallabies 22. Sticking to the blind side. Putting the kick through. And getting back just in the nick of time as Tom Wright. Just preventing a play at that ball. What a start from Argentina, though. Where has this been from them? A great step and straight through went Cinti. The Wallabies cover defence, though. Nick White, you've got to applaud him there. Getting back, he was beaten in the first instance. And then that kick, Tom Wright does well to refrain from attacking that ball. And it will come back for a 22 restart for Australia. But what a start from Argentina. A penalty to Argentina. The TMO's got involved. The TMO has got involved and one of the Los Pumas players have been taken out off the ball. And this is a gift 3 points if they want it. This is a gift 3 points. I would take it. One of the Argentinian players taken out without the ball. Hard to see exactly where that happened, to be honest, but the decision stands. And this is an absolute gift to put Argentina ahead 3 points to 0 inside the first 3 minutes. A great start for Michael Cheika and his troops. As we have a sneaky little glance over at the NRL and find that it is Melbourne Storm still 6 points to 0 up. Doing the job over there at the moment, the Storm. Buffelli moves in, strikes it painfully to the right, and it's off the post. Oh, it was a gift 3-pointers, and the great big goofs made a complete mess of it. And the Wallabies, that is a gift. It should be 3-0. What are they doing here, though? Setting up ruckball, trying to get away from the posts, I assume. Dangerously close to the post for a clearance. But risky play, I would have thought. Surely Nick White with the box kick here. And they were a bit quick up on it. Nick White with the cheeky little balk at the back of the ruck. Gets... Oh, and he's hobbling. Nick White, he's hobbling around like a 90-year-old man at the moment. That could be good news for the Wallabies. It could mean that Tate McDermott gets on the field nice and early. If he's even in the squad. Yes, he is. Okay, that's a good thing. Oh, it should have been 3 points to 0 Argentina. Instead, it's a penalty to the Wallabies, a metre out from the line. Their own line, that is. Relieving clearance. And a big drive from the line out. Good shape from the Wallabies. Argentina slow to get numbers in. Very slow to get numbers in. The momentum's there for the Wallabies. And this is just chewing up the metres. An absolute gift for the home team. Skelton holds it at the back of the ruck. Breaks away now. They're up to halfway. What a turnaround. They should be staring down a 3-point deficit. And now they've got a penalty advantage of their own. And they will come back for the penalty as Quade Cooper, of all people, would you believe, knocks the ball on. Oh, they've been allowed to tap and go. And that's through the gap. Straight through the gap. And Wright needs support. He's got nobody with him. Argentina diving over the ruck. Lucky to not give away another penalty. Quade Cooper throws the most forward pass you will ever see in your life over to the corner. And the Wallabies, it's going to go up as a try, I think. But that was about 20 metres forward, that pass from Quade Cooper. No one's claiming the try. No one knows what's going on here. At least the referees should know what's happening, but they don't. We've got to... Oh, geez. You really, really do wish that the TMOs could rule on forward passes, because Quade Cooper was playing NFL there. Passes don't come too much more forward than that one that Quade Cooper just threw to set up his man on the outside. But what we're looking at here, interestingly enough, it should have been a penalty here right in front of the sticks. Diving over the ruck there, Argentina. They got away with that one. Quade Cooper, a pass more forward than anything you could ever possibly hope to see. And we're looking for a no-arms tackle. He's clearly tried to wrap the arms, but I think he's got it down anyway here for the Wallabies. Forward pass or not, you be the judge. It's going to be a try in the corner. And Ikitau has scored the first try for Australia 5 minutes into this game. The cover defense from Argentina just not getting it done. And instead of being 3 points to 0 up, oh my God, I can't believe how far forward that pass was from Quade Cooper. I mean, there's a referee and two touch judges on the field, and nobody saw a 20-meter forward pass from Quade Cooper onto the outside. Connor Crowley, ahoy there. Welcome back. Yes, it's hard to forget a name like Crowley. I sincerely hope that I did not break into song of Mr. Crowley, because that would have been embarrassing. But anyway, try has been given, and Ikitau has scored in the corner, and the man who threw the 20-meter forward pass to set it up, Quade Cooper, from the sideline, moves in and just bunts it over from the left-hand sideline. And it's 7 points to 0. The Wallabies should have been 3-0. Argentina and securing the kickoff. But they made complete mincemeat out of it. And now they have to stare down a 7-point differential. Zachary Lee says, don't be scared of the forward pass. Well, they certainly weren't. Yeah, honestly, I don't recall seeing a pass any more forward than that in recent times. Argentina have secured possession from the restart, though. Putting the kick in behind the line. I'm not too sure what this is tactically. It just dribbles over the touchline, and it will be Wallabies line-out ball. And they've done that every time they've attacked down this left-hand edge. Rather than just going to ground, reforming, setting up another ruck, they seem to think that there's something in this kick in behind. Tom Wright was there. It was well and truly covered by the Wallabies. I'm not too sure. Tactically, Argentina, I'm not too sure what that's all about. Wallabies line out throw. They secure possession, and again, they break away early from the rolling maul this time. And they're just outside the 22. Touchline's not an option. Nick White's box kick is charged, and this should fall nicely for Argentina, and does. Can they get the ball out wide? They do keep it alive. Buffetti. And they secure possession. This one's been stripped out. Backwards, it's been called. Argentina maintain possession. Oh, the pass out the back to nobody. It's a bit loose here from the Los Pumas. And they've lost a lot of yardage now. And they give away the penalty. Diving straight in off their feet at ruck time. Oh, you just get this nasty little feeling. I was talking about it at the top of the stream. These are two teams. They either run out as world beaters or they run out as wooden spooners. I hate to say it, but so far, this first 9 minutes, Argentina have run out as cellar dwellers tonight. But if there's anything positive to take away from it, it's exactly what we saw in the last game, isn't it? The All Blacks dominated the first 17 minutes, raced out to a 17-point lead, and South Africa slowly but surely fought their way back into the contest. Can Los Pumas do the same? I mean, they really need to lift, though. They really need to lift. A cheeky little hand on the Wallabies line-out throw there, almost stolen. But this is such unusual things to see. The Wallabies have got a rolling maul formed. Argentina in from the side. Penalty advantage. I have never seen an Australian team since the John Eales era with a functional rolling maul, in all honesty. It's such a weird and unusual thing to see. Quade Cooper now puts the grubber kick in. Argentina dive on it, but they were playing under penalty advantage. Penalty advantage, and we come back for it. And this is a gift 3 points for Australia if they want it. A gift 3-pointer. The way that this game's going, though, I would actually be very tempted to plug it into the corner and keep going because they are dominating Argentina at rolling maul time. Put it into the corner and rolling maul your way over for another try. It looks like they're taking the 3, though. Everybody ignores me and my tactics. Hey, let's just ignore Dan's tactics. They're taking the gift 3 points. I suppose one of the big criticisms of the Wallabies teams over the years has been not taking the 3 points when they're on offer, and this is an absolute gift. We've got 8 minutes to go in the NRL first half. Storm with the ball on halfway, holding on to a 6-0 lead over the Sydney Roosters. The Roosters with so much more to play for, you feel. And they're just a Xavier Coates runaway try. The difference between the two teams at the moment. Quade Cooper from right in front. Moves in and he's got a weird kicking action, Quade Cooper. He doesn't seem to put too much effort into those kicks. He just sort of moves in and dinks it. But it's working for him tonight. One from out wide to convert. One from right in front to get the penalty goal. And that puts the Wallabies 10-0 up. 11 minutes into this game. Much like the last game, it's the home side racing the clock early and the away team struggling to get into proceedings. Oh, we've got a try in the NRL. The Roosters have made a breakaway. And they have hit back, and that's a terrible pass at the back from Buffetti. Argentina are just not getting the basics right at the moment. Australia get the ball back from the clearing kick. Oh, Karevi's through. Karevi's got support from Kurabete, who pops the pass back, and Argentina are there to dive on the loose ball and avert disaster right there. That could have been a horrible situation. Big defense from Australia, driving Argentina backwards. Losing ground again, the Pumas. They're just not in this contest at the moment. It's disappointing to see. The box kick. They're out of ideas. It's been tapped backwards. And now the kick just grubbers along the line and into touch inside the Wallabies 22, but they need to respond and put pressure on this line-out throw. Argentina just all a little bit headless at the moment, to be perfectly honest. I was hoping to see a lot more from them, but they've just clearly run out of ideas. It's too early to run out of ideas. Pressure on the line-out throw needed. And there's good pressure on. It pops up for White, though, and he fires it away for Valentini. And they'll secure possession here, the Wallabies, and look to clear. Firing it back to Quade Cooper on his own goal line. Thumps it upfield. Not a lot of distance on it. Argentina will get a good reward here and good field position for a line-out throw. 10 points the difference. They're certainly not out of it by any means, but Argentina, they really do need to find something. Conversion unsuccessful over in the NRL, and it's the Melbourne Storm holding on to a 6-4 lead, approaching half-time. 5.5 minutes to go till the break over there. Pumas win the line out. Can they answer? Oh, it's a turnover, but it's a successful turnover straight back to Argentina. It was pilfered by the Wallabies, but the Wallabies had no support, and it's been pilfered straight back. Now, Pumas go wide to the right. 22 out from the Wallabies line. Just settling things down now. 1 out from the ruck. Drawing in some more Wallabies defenders. Getting in each other's way at the back there. Just losing shape here. Now, spreading it wide to the left. And cutting back in field is Carreras. Nowhere to go. They just got in each other's way a little bit there, the Pumas. They still have the ball. 8 phases now. 8 phases they go through. Spreading it wide to the right. Now they've got some space. They've got some numbers. Karevi cleans up at the back. They don't commit any to the ruck, the Wallabies. 0 in at the ruck. Just allowing Argentina to get the ball back, keeping their defensive line intact. They're just 5 out now. Argentina. 5 out. Phase 11. Oh, now they're on the ball. The Wallabies, it's loose at the back. They're in front of the post. 5 out. Argentina, 14 phases. They're just grinding out some distance here. They're not breaking the Wallabies' defensive line. They're holding firm at the moment. Now the kick in behind, out of ideas again. And Conan Bete just dives on it and says, thank you very much. We'll ground this down. And just forcing the Pumas into that. The Wallabies' defensive line, it didn't break. Under-committing to the rucks, keeping defenders out. It's a tactic you don't usually see from Australia. And Ikitau's done. Ikitau, he suffered a little bit of a hit in his try-scoring effort, and he is done. And here comes... Oh, look at Goldilocks here. Who is this? Gordon. Gordon is on the field. Goldilocks Jones. Oh, my goodness. I've never seen such blonde hair. But that's an early replacement. Argentina get the ball back from the dropout. They've just got to maintain possession a little bit here, Argentina. Get themselves into this contest. They were a little slow to start, much like South Africa earlier tonight. But we saw what happened over there. South Africa got themselves well into the battle, well into the contest. Can the Pumas do the same? maintaining possession through the phases. Getting slightly forward on the inside ball there. But hey, look, Australia got away with a 20-metre forward pass to score their first try. So I'm more than happy for that one not to be called too. The referee is certainly not on top of the passes tonight. Now a loose pass and it falls for the Wallabies. But it's successfully turned over. They're a little bit lazy there at the ruck, the Wallabies, and Argentina get the ball back, and they are now starting to get away to possession. They've got numbers out to the right here. Can they get over? No. Corambete gets across and covers it off. 10 out from the line here. Argentina, they're just starting to dominate possession here. Once again, going through the phases. Big defense. Wallabies on their own goal line, though. Phase 8. Not really asking any questions of the Wallabies defense, though. And over the top and on the ball is Fraser McWright. Can't win the turnover. Argentina maintain. Advantage line all over the top of the ball. And a gift three-pointer from right out in front. Penalty Argentina. 66% possession. Argentina. I mean, that turned around very, very quickly, didn't it? 81% territory. And they're 10 down on the scoreboard. I mean, they take the 3 here, surely. Surely they take the 3 here, get themselves on the board. It's a gift three-pointer. But then I said that last time, didn't I? I said that the last one was a gift 3 points, and he went and muffed it. But surely he puts this one over. This is much more of a gift than the last one. And Buffelli should make absolutely no mistake here. Off the post, his last attempt just to the left of the posts. But this one is right in front. And this should make it 10 points to 3. An absolute sodding gift. But Argentina, they've done well to... They've hung in. Very much like the All Blacks Springboks game. They've hung in. And the Wallabies, they're up. They contest the restart. But this has been knocked on. It's going to be an Argentinian scrum. So yes, much like the All Blacks Springboks game earlier tonight, Australia raced out to a lead. But Argentina have since dominated the contest. Struggling to get points, though. Speaking of blow-ups, there's been a blow-up in the commentary box, apparently, in the NRL. And there's a blow-up here. Michael Checker is going ballistic in the coach's box for Los Pumas. Half-time in the NRL, 6 points to 4. Melbourne, a slender lead over the Roosters. Great game happening over there. Scrum down. Argentina going backwards at a rate of knots, but illegally so. Illegally so. The Wallabies have lifted. Slip has been pinged there. It was a big, big scrum on this near side to the TV. I didn't see on the far side, though. Slipper clearly collapsing. Relieving penalty there for the Pumas. And there you can see the result of the collapse is James Slipper's got grass all over his face. $10 points to 3. Wallabies. Argentina have been dominating possession and territory for the past 10 minutes or so, but very little to show for it. And now they're playing under penalty advantage again. It collapses, and the full penalty is given. Not a gift three-pointer, so I dare say they just plug this into the corner as close as they can get it. The Wallabies have been defending the lineouts quite well so far tonight. But can they break them and get themselves well and truly back into this contest? Oh, he's fallen over! Carreras with the touch finder. He slips and he kicks it into touch, but he slips on his bum as he does so. Oh, that's hilarious. Embarrassing for him. But he still found touch, and that's all that matters. And Argentina with the throw. 5 out. They secure the line-out ball. Wallabies just look to defend the rolling maul. They break early. Argentina fool everybody and break early. And now driving. A metre short. Penalty advantage. They were up too quick there, the Wallabies. This is Argentina's moment to lose here. Can they get themselves over? Driving towards the line. There's no threat of any sort of backline movement here. All the forwards are setting up. And just looking for the drive. Slow ball. Still got the penalty advantage through phase 5. It spills out the back. They lose a couple of meters. But they've still got the ball. Argentina threatening here. A new advantage. A new advantage. Valentini failing to get out of the ruck. Do they look to spread it at any point here? They've got the penalty advantage. They've gone through 9 phases. Looks like they're going to keep it in close, though. Just trying to grind their way over here. Los Pumas. Now they go wide, and now they score a try. Oh, they just waited for their opportunity, waited for their moment, drew the defense in, and from the ruck, the base of the ruck, they go 2 out to the inside center, De La Fuente, who scores the ball. He scores. He crashes over and scores, plants the ball down, and Los Pumas getting reward. The sheer weight of territory and possession that they've had finally brings some reward. Oh, has he got it down? Has he got this down? This is the angle that will tell. Has he actually got the ball down, or has he planted this on Nick White's leg? Nick White's got a cheeky leg, and then it's planted down. That's a try. Argentina, 10 points to 8. Kick to come. They're happy. The Pumas supporters in the crowd, they're excited. I think they're wearing soccer jerseys as well, by the way. 10 points to 8. Conversion to square us all up here. Who'd have thought that we're potentially eyeing up an all-level ball game? Conversion straight down the middle. Oh, it's game on here. It is game on in the Rugby Championship here in Australia. 10 points all. Wallabies and Pumas. 26 and a half minutes gone. A near mirror image to the first game, with the home side racing out of the blocks. But the away team just holds on, keeps themselves within striking distance or close enough, and gets themselves back into the game. And now are well and truly on top. The scores are level. Argentina getting more reward than the Springboks did earlier. Box kick, clearing it away upfield. Tom Wright's been safe at the back here tonight. Oh, that's a loose pass across the face. Connor Mbete does well to reel it in. And they're all off their feet there. Argentina not supporting their own weight. A very relieving penalty here for the Wallabies. And just lacking a little bit of intensity here, a little bit of enthusiasm. Australia. 10 points to all. Absolutely anybody's ball game here. Cooper hammers it into touch. He's got to get out of there. He's failed to release the try scorer, De La Fuente. Just didn't get himself out of that ruck. That's a great kick into touch from Quade Cooper. One thing I'll say about Quade is his kicking game has well and truly improved in his time away. So whatever he's been doing, he needs to do more of it. His kicking has well and truly improved. Now, Wallabies ball, getting themselves all kinds of tangled up. Oh, that's not good at all. Wallabies get themselves all tangled up in amongst each other and give away a gift obstruction penalty. All tangled up amongst each other here, Australia getting involved and dragging Pumas players away from the ruck. Good chance here from Argentina. They continue to dominate the weight of possession and territory. After the first 10 minutes, the first 11 minutes or so, that was all the Wallabies. Argentina are well back into this game. James Jason Bourne says he was kicking cans. Well, he probably didn't have a whole lot else to do, to be perfectly honest. Now, Argentina, they set up a good, solid rolling maul here. That's as good as it's looked all night. Now they've got good shape out to the right. Pressure on the Wallabies' defensive line. They're 30 out from Australia's line here. Breaking tackles, or threatening to at the very least. Breaking the first up tackle. Now line all over the wrong side of the ruck here, Australia. Surely. Referee is suggesting that he's being held in by the Argentinian attack, and that's probably a fair call. He's not going to fall for any shenanigans. Up to... Oh, loose pass is dived on by Connor, and he's away upfield here for the Wallabies. Does he have the pace? Probably not. Oh, what a great try-saving effort from Cinti. The cover defense was on song. It was a try for all money. Goldilocks was flying down the sideline, but Cinti loose from the back of the ruck here from Argentina, and Goldilocks swoops on it, but he doesn't have the pace. What a chase. What a tackle by Cinti. Does just enough to knock him over the sideline. That is a try saver, a momentum saver, and that could be a moment in this match. Solid effort there. For the NRL fans in the chat, I mean, that was Scott Sattler-like. Scott Sattler in the grand final for the Panthers. Try-saving effort. Chasing that one back. That was great to watch. It stays 10 points all. But that was loose from Argentina. And they'll be very disappointed in just throwing momentum away like that. Wallabies have got the ball now. They're in possession. They've got shape out to the right. McWright looks for the pop pass and they make the mistake. Oh, that was messy. That wasn't good at all. Viking King, ahoy there. Oh, mate. Oh, it's going to be a close game. I had the Wallabies at the start of the game, but geez, they're looking sloppy. Like this play here. Just terrible. I'm like Fraser McWright, just go to ground, mate. Go to ground, set up the next ruck. They're feeling the pinch. They're feeling the pressure. Argentina are winning the weight of possession and territory, and the Wallabies are feeling the pinch. And they're trying to overplay their hand a little bit here. 70% possession to Argentina. And when you think about the first 11 minutes, that weight of territory and possession is just insane when you think that it was all Australia in the first 10. But Argentina have put them to the sword since. All right, we've got a break in play here as we set this scrum. So I'm going to have a quick break myself. Scrum down. Argentina feed. This will be a very interesting battle. Argentina, they hold firm. Now, a wraparound play has put the backs into space out the right and an unnecessary flick pass. And both teams just a little bit guilty at the moment of trying to force the issue. They're trying to break the deadlock. Both teams desperate to break this deadlock and probably guilty of just overplaying their hand. Both of them. Unnecessary this time from Carreras. Didn't need to attempt that little pop pass. Once again, could have just gone to ground and secured possession for the next ruck. But instead, unnecessary attempted flick pass goes to ground. And it's a gift scrum down here for the Wallabies. But Argentina, this is one area they're very capable of putting pressure on the Wallabies. Scrum time. He's on the wrong side here, the referee. It's over on James Slipper's side, the far side there. That's where the Wallabies have been going to ground. And Slipper's angling in, struggling to hold his weight. Slipper's wheeling here, and this has got to be a penalty to, well, it's a penalty to the Wallabies. Wow, James Slipper had totally lost shape there, and they've got away with one there at the scrum time. I thought from that overhead angle, James Slipper there is clearly wheeling in, and he's lost all shape. And I feel like Argentina are a little bit hard done by there. Teams coming back out for the second half in the NRL. The Melbourne Storm holding on to a slender 6-4 lead. Wallabies with a line out, 10 out. They secure the ball. They've got a good shape here on this rolling maul, and they've got the momentum. Oh, they're driving towards the line. The Wallabies, who'd have thought? Great defense from Argentina, though. Great defense. They come charging through. They did not contest the line out. They put all their numbers and effort into defending that rolling maul, and defend it they did. They've forced the turnover. Wallabies can't get the drive on, can't get the ball clear. And that is great goal line defense. That is how you nullify a rolling maul. Perfectly played from Argentina. Oh, they're happy about it too. The fists are being pumped. And they are well and truly up for this battle now. It took them a little bit of time to get into it. But ever since that opening 10 minutes, Argentina have been dominant in all areas of the game. Now, this is going to be very interesting to see. Referee, get yourself over to James Slipper's side of this scrum, because that's where the issues are for the Wallabies. James Slipper, very solid over Ala Alatoa's side. But the referee, he needs to get himself over that far side. Keep an eye on James Slipper, because they got away with murder in the last scrum, did the Wallabies. And immediately, look at Slipper's angle. Slipper is angling in on that far side again. But Argentina are wise to it this time, and they hold firm. James Slipper, the cheeky old dog, angling in and getting away with it again there. Pumas secure the ball and look for the clearing kick up towards halfway. Not a lot of distance on it. And yes, I really do think the referee, he needs to get himself over that far side of the scrums and keep an eye on James Slipper, who's pulling out all the tricks tonight at scrum time. The wily old veteran, James Slipper. They win the line-out ball, but then a loose pass out the back pops up kindly for Gordon, and the Wallabies maintain possession, but that was very loose, very scrappy. Now, they've created some space to the left. They don't get it out there, and Gordon's a bit isolated. Argentina are over the ball and have surely secured this. No, the Wallabies, yes, they do. It's a late call. It is an extremely late call from the referee. I was all over the top of that, but, geez, it took the referee on field a long time to call it. Holding onto the ball, clearly. Argentina, like a pack of vultures, were over the top of that ball. Gordon was isolated, and it was a pretty clear penalty. It took ages, an eternity, for the on-field referee to call it. And Argentina, it's 10 points all. Yes, but they are dominating this game at the moment. You've got to remember they gave up 10 points. They missed a gift three-pointer of their own. They then gave up 10 points on the run to the Wallabies. Since then, 10 unanswered points of their own. And dominating large chunks of this game. And now a simple wraparound play has created space. And they're through here. Argentina looking for support. But Gordon gets himself in between the support. It's been turned over, though, by Argentina. They've got the ball back. Gordon did well to get himself in between the support runner and pinch it. But now it's on out to the right. Oh, they've got numbers out to the right. Argentina have muffed it, completely muffed it. They come back in field. It was too slow there. Slow backline play. Oh, they've got to be careful here. Wallabies could be losing somebody. That is professional foul territory, and the Wallabies could be a man down here. This is professional foul territory. He's got the card out of the pocket already. He just needs to know who it is. The referee is walking across field, trying to figure out who do I give this to. That is clear professional foul territory. But Argentina, I tell you what, they completely just bollocksed up a try there. They had them skinned to the right-hand edge, didn't get it out there anywhere near quickly enough, and the Wallabies cover defense was able to get across and shut it down, but they've just given away a clear professional foul on their own goal line, and this is going to be a penalty to Argentina, and the Wallabies are going to lose a man to the sin bin here. Just on the stroke of half-time, it's just a matter of who. Who gets the card? Number 4, Arnold. Arnold's being called out. And Arnold has gone to the sin bin for 10 minutes. It was clear professional foul range. Argentina, they had a try for all money. Hamish, it's good to see that some things never change, hey, mate? No, look, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, look, I've got the spare computer there. I've got a spare computer there that I can run. I can dedicate bandwidth to, and I can just run. And why not? I've got all the content there that I've spent years cultivating that content. Why not? Why not do something with it? Bring back the old 24/7 live stream. And, yeah, good to see that some things never change, huh? YouTube's algorithm may change on a weekly basis, but idiots in the chat room never go away. No offense to everybody here, by the way. I'm just speaking a specific type of people. Penalty here to Argentina with the extra man advantage. They're putting a scrum down. They could have easily taken the 3 and got themselves the lead going into the break, but they want the try. A scrum down, 5 out. And it's a massive drive here from Argentina. Penalty advantage. They must score. Oh, it's well shut down by the Wallabies, but they could lose another one here, Australia. They are still in professional foul range here. They've done well to hold on thus far. They maintain position behind the line. They don't want to give anything away here. But this is a big call from Argentina. Driving over, held up, and driven backwards, and that will take us into halftime. Oh, we're coming back for a penalty. They were under penalty advantage. Surely they take the 3 now. Take the 3. Go into halftime, 13 points to 10 up. Because what a victory it would be to Australia. Oh, they're taking the scrum down again. Scrum going down again. Oh, this is big. This is big. This is a huge, huge moment in the context of this game. This is massive because they've called a scrum down again. They're not content to take the 3, go into halftime with the lead, and then come out in the second half and take advantage of that extra man. They are chewing up the minutes of the extra man advantage. So it is crucially important in the context of this game that they do take advantage of it here. Another big scrum. Can they get the penalty advantage from the back of it again? They're dominating at scrum time. Keep an eye on James Slipper. This is a much better scrum from the Wallabies. A much better scrum from the Wallabies. This is what I was talking about. This is exactly what I was talking about. They have rolled the dice, and the Wallabies have stepped up and said, no way. We're going to save our best scrum of the game so far till the last on the stroke of halftime. They could have gone into the break 13-10 ahead, coming out for the second half, a full 10 minutes with an extra man advantage. Instead, they've gone for the full 5-pointer, potentially 7. They've wasted 4 minutes of Arnold in the sin bin, and we are going into halftime all locked up. Oh, look, benefit of hindsight. I said it at the time, but the benefit of hindsight says that was definitely the wrong call. But I also said it at the time, wrong call. Take the 3, go to halftime with the lead, come out in the second half, and just try and really drive home that extra man advantage for the first 10 minutes. Oh, they went for the glory play, Argentina. But the Wallabies, they have just pulled a scrum square out of their anuses and saved the day there to go into halftime 10-all. And, we are game on here. We are well and truly game on. 10-all, absolutely nothing to split between the two of them. Crazy game so far. It's been all Argentina for 30 out of the 40 minutes of that game so far, that first half. But the 10 minutes that the Wallabies were on top got them enough points to be all level. The second half is once again anybody's guess. Absolutely anybody's game. What's going on over here in the NRL? We've got the Melbourne Storm 6 points to 4. Still 6 points to 4 lead over the Roosters. We've got a bunker decision. It looks like they're ruling on a try over here. It could be a try, potentially, to the Storm. Bunker checking for obstruction, I'm assuming, based on what I've seen so far. And it looks like it's going to be a no try. Clear obstruction. Alana Ferguson channeling her inner goth tonight. I like it. So, interesting decision there, right on the stroke of half-time. And look, in all honesty, I don't understand why they didn't take the 3. You've just won the penalty. Wallabies have got a man in the sin bin. Take the 3, go into half-time with a 3-point lead, come out in the second half and try and take full advantage of that extra man. I understand from the context of that they were trying to really hammer home that advantage, but they just wasted too much time. for no result. They just wasted 4 minutes of the extra man. And they go to halftime 10-all. But look, regardless, they're still well in it here. Both teams still well in it. Argentina have dominated large periods of this first half. Australia dominated the opening. They got more value out of their domination than Argentina have, and we find ourselves 10 points all at halftime. Wasted World of Sports, thank you very much for your company thus far, and we'll be back for all the second half action right after this quick break. Oh, waste a lot of sports, ahoy. We are ready for the second half. Teams getting ready to come back out onto the field here. I can tell you that over in the NRL, for those interested, Melbourne Storm 18, Sydney Roosters 14. Not looking good for the Roosters. 21 and a half minutes to go over there. I said that they're probably playing for their season, in all honesty. Not good for them. Halftime here, though, 10 points all. I really do feel like that Pumas, they've missed a trick here. A penalty right on the stroke of halftime. Arnold sent to the sin bin for the Wallabies. Rather than taking the 3 points and then coming out in the second half with the extra man advantage and trying to get on top early in the second stanza, holding onto a 3-point lead, they decided to go for the glory. They put the scrum down. They failed. The Wallabies held on. Argentina wasted almost 4 minutes of the extra man advantage in trying. And that, in my opinion, was a small victory for the Wallabies. But in all honesty, though, Argentina have been dominating large parts of that first half. They've come with a very simple game plan. It took them a little bit of time, 10 or 11 minutes to be exact, to get themselves into this game. But once they've been into it, they've been dominating this performance so far. 10 points all on the back of a blistering start from the Wallabies, but they've done sweet. Well, I won't say it. They've done a whole lot of nothing ever since then. As we are underway here in the second half, Quade Cooper with the kickoff. It's a short one. It's a contestable one, and it's been contested well, and the Wallabies come down with it. Can they start the second half much the same as they started the first? Spreading it wide to Corumbete, who cuts back in field, beats the first two defenders, but he did so in running about 45 metres cross field. And then just leaves the ball there. It's contested here from Argentina. This has got to be a penalty. This is surely a penalty for Argentina. Come on, ref. Jeez. I can't believe. And now they get the penalty for that. Oh, he's made up for it. I think the referee feeling a bit guilty for realising he should have pinged the Wallabies on the last ruck has somehow found a penalty in that one. My God, I can't believe he was standing right there watching Argentina win the contest for the ball at the last ruck, doesn't give the penalty, but he gives the penalty for that one immediately, instantaneously, as soon as they made any contact with the ball at all. I can't quite understand the logic behind those two calls. But anyways, look, they've been made now, and we've ended up with the correct decision. And Argentina, they are carrying on from where they left off, dominating in the contest areas, securing possession, winning the penalties, getting territory. It's still 10 points all. Look, I go back to this again. I'd have taken the 3. I really would have. 13 points to 10 up. They still could have started the second half exactly the same way. They might come back to rue that decision, but let's see. Big defense there from Gordon, of all people, Goldilocks Jones. But Argentina maintaining possession. They've got 5 minutes of Arnold in the sin bin. 5 minutes of an extra man advantage. Penalty advantage here for a high shot. Time's up. Oh, we've got a big injury here in midfield. Play was headed back that way. And we've got Alemano down for Argentina, and it doesn't look good. Oh, he doesn't look in a good way at all. He is screaming, writhing in pain in midfield. Seems to be an issue with the legs. And play was headed dangerously close back infield in that direction, so referee left with no alternative but to blow time off. So this will come back. It'll be a penalty for Argentina, and surely, by God, they take the 3 points now. The points are on offer. You've still got 5 minutes of the extra man. Put it over. Scoreboard pressure. They might be thinking, though, and it makes sense from this perspective, they would be thinking, okay, it's Arnold who's gone to the sin bin. Try and take advantage in that forward battle while we've got the opportunity to really dominate. But look, I've got the sort of coach mindset that is all about scoreboard pressure. If the points are on offer, realistically, take them. There is absolutely no way I would have knocked back that three-pointer on the stroke of half-time to go into the break with the lead. It's a little bit different now coming out the back of on the second half. It's a little bit of a different mindset. I wouldn't put it past them to plug this into the corner. And it looks like that's what they are doing. Argentina, they're not interested in taking the threes. Oh, maybe they are now. A little bit of a change of mind. This seems like a really serious injury here for Alemano. He is not in a good way. 22 points to 4 now. Melbourne have extended their lead in the NRL, and it looks like it's game. Oh, it might be another try. Oh, that was a try. It's a try. Once again, I've looked over at the NRL on the other screen, and I've called the action for a try replay that has been confirmed. And Melbourne, I dare say, have gone a long way to securing that contest. And, the Roosters, the poor Roosters, they have to get my vote. In all honesty, the Roosters would be getting my vote for the most disappointing team of 2023. And I think that's got to be close to season over for the Roosters. I've been backing them all year long to turn things around, and they haven't. I feel like it's almost time. Oh, yes. The way that the Roosters always seem to turn things around at the back end of the year, though, you struggle to want to put a line through them. But, geez, you've got to be very close to putting a line through the Roosters this year. Anyway, Argentina secure line-out ball. They've got possession. Out the back they go. They've got numbers. They've got space. Cutting back in field, though, is Carreras. They probably needed to keep going wide. Now here they go, firing a huge cutout pass, and they must score. Argentina short. Oh, great cover defense from the Wallabies. Fantastic cover defense from the Wallabies there. Argentina somehow have once again failed to score a try against all odds. How are they muffing these tries up? Oh, geez, Karevi's just sort of dived in over the top with an elbow to the back of the head. And the Wallabies, if the referee is pedantic enough, the Wallabies could have another man in the bin here. You can't dive on a prone player in rugby union. It looks like they're going to get away with it. We've come all the way back over the other side of the field for a penalty to Argentina. And this is interesting. We've got a change of ball. I can't recall the last time I've ever seen that in a game of footy. We've changed the ball. Another penalty for Argentina where they've knocked back the three. They have left 9 points at least out there in penalty goals. They're going to they win the line out uncontested. Big counter drive here from the Wallabies, pushing them backwards. But Argentina, they've got shape now. They're going backwards at a rate of knots. They have to break off. Well defended this time from Australia. Argentina have got the ball. Somehow they have failed to score a try. Driving to the line here now. They're centimetres short. They're a ruler's length away from the try line. Nothing fancy will be incoming here, I dare say. Phase 5, just looking for the crash ball. Hands all over the ruck from Australia there. They've got a release. They do get the ball out. He's over the line. Plants it down. This could be a try for Argentina. Finally, they get themselves over. And it's Montoya, it looks like, who's claiming this one. The hooker. Over he goes. And finally, reward for Argentina. But by God, they needed to score that, because they have knocked back some points tonight with penalty advantages. Penalties in kicking range. They've knocked them back. They've gone for the tries. And finally, that was crucial. Critical try for Argentina. And they are about to go 7 points up. And that is just reward for the domination that they've had. Since the opening 10 minutes of this game, it's been all Argentina. And the conversion, over it goes now. A very, very worthy 7-point lead for Los Pumas. Oh, Melbourne are just carving up here in the Rugby League. Melbourne are just carving up. You get the feeling that the Roosters have now lost belief themselves. And this, with 12 and a half minutes to go in the NRL, could get very, very messy. But what's not getting messy here is this game. It is still anybody's contest as the Wallabies go short. Too short. It's been played up by Argentina, though. What are they doing? Brain explosion of all brain explosions, and they've got away with it at the moment. You get the feeling that the TMO will interject here. I thought for sure Argentina played at this ball. Ah, okay, he's missed it completely. It's been missed completely. Viking King, Cowboys, Knights, Broncos, 3 from 3. If Storm win, you've got 4 from 4. I'm on 4 from 4 as well, I believe. Viking King. Yes, I will also be sitting on a perfect round if the Storm hold on for this last 10 minutes. So Argentina, they've called a scrum down. I'm not too sure what happened there. It seemed like, seeing it live, that they played at the ball and lost it. And they lose it anyway. So maybe the rugby gods have just had a thing or two to say about this. Perhaps the rugby gods have just stepped in here. And we've come back to what would have originally been the decision, which is a scrum down now for the Wallabies on the halfway line. So yeah, you can't really fault that. Very scrappy at the back from Argentina. Big moment there. And the Wallabies should be back to a full complement now, I dare say. Arnold has served his time in the sin bin, and it should be back to 15 on 15. And it is. So the Wallabies, they've only given away that 7 points. I still think the big, crucial decision in this game may come back to being the decision to not take the 3 on the stroke of half-time for Argentina. They went for the try going into the break. They should have just taken the 3 and then come out for a full 10 minutes of an extra man advantage. They wasted 5 minutes to get nothing with the extra man up leading into the halftime break. Huge scrum here from Australia. Massive scrum. And things have just swung a little bit here. And now they've got space. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch down the right-hand flank. Nowhere to go. Quade Cooper does a full-on NFL pass across the face of the defensive line. And Australia, with the luck of the rugby gods behind them there on that last call, have just elevated themselves here. They've got their tails up, the Wallabies, and now playing under penalty advantage. Cooper, short ball to Krevy, back to Cooper. The play shuts down. Coming in from the side there, an illegal clean out. And it's a new penalty here for the Wallabies. Argentina, their discipline just going out the window a little bit here. I find it hilarious that Quade... This is actually hilarious. Quade Cooper, His NFL pass went backwards, but his actual rugby pass that led to Australia's first try was at least 20 metres forward. Interesting. But it is penalty to the Wallabies. They turn down the 3 and they plug it into the corner. Time in the opposition, 22. The Wallabies have only had 33 seconds inside Argentina's 22. They've got 10 points to show for it. Potentially more on the back of this play. That is crazy to think about. The way that they started this game and the way that Argentina have just strangled them ever since. Wallabies, it's contested. They do get good shape on this rolling maul. Australia charging for the line. Penalty advantage. They're in all over the place, Argentina. It had to be a penalty advantage. But the Wallabies, they maintain this maul. They're just short of the line. White looking for options. He goes to the open side. Gordon, nowhere to go for Goldilocks. A new penalty advantage. They're all offside there, Argentina. Oh, they could lose a man here. They've got to be very careful, Argentina. We are in professional foul range. And any deliberate penalty here. Oh, it's been knocked on by Goldilocks. And we'll come back for that original penalty to the Wallabies. But yes, Argentina. Oh, it's right out in front. It's a gift 3 points. I dare say, the way that this game's been going, though, nobody wants the 3-pointers tonight. They want tries. They want 7 points. They want to go up in 5s and 7s. Nobody is interested in going up in 3s. This is an absolute gift, though. An absolute gift. I'm all about scoreboard pressure. My coaching style right now, I would be signaling down and saying, take the goddamn 3 points. It's a gift. But that's me. I'm all about taking the points on offer. Scoreboard pressure. But, yeah, both teams have left a lot of 3-pointers out there tonight. Going for the glory. Going for the 5s and 7s. Pencil Pat! Try confirmed. Melbourne have gone over for another one in the NRL. And the Wallabies have knocked back to the easy 3 points. They've taken the scrum. The scrums have been a bit 50-50. Keep an eye on Slipper. Watch James Slipper's angle. He's under pressure, Slipper. Oh, White breaks down the blind side and scores, Nick White. Out of absolutely nowhere. There was nothing doing there for the Wallabies. There was pressure on the scrum. Slipper was starting to angle in. He was buckling under the pressure again. James Slipper is a huge liability at scrum time in that Wallabies front row. But Nick White has made a miracle out of nothing here. Argentina decimated that Wallaby scrum. And that is going to be devastating for the Pumas. Devastating. They dominated the scrum time there. And all that they get, their reward for the domination of the scrum, a try for the Wallabies. Right beside the post. And we're about to be all locked up again here. 17 points all. A try from absolutely nowhere. And the scrum halves are having a field day today. Aaron Smith with the try for the All Blacks. Nicholas Pornstash White with a try for the Wallabies. We're all square again. 17 all. And once again, I hate to dwell on it. But it comes back to that decision right on the stroke of half-time. Argentina could have had so much more reward. Instead, we're all locked up. Wallabies secure the kickoff. Just set up their clearance. It's back to Cooper. Cooper's kick doesn't find touch. Argentina ball. They get to return the kick inside Wallabies territory. a little bit of extra enthusiasm in these hits. Racing up out of line was Corin Betty, and that's created an overlap now for Argentina. They can't take full advantage of it. There just wasn't enough meters on the outside there. The Wallabies slide across and shut it down, but Corin Betty, risky stuff there, racing up out of the line. If you do that, you've got to make the hit stick, and he did not. That was just bonus meters for Argentina. Keeping it through the phases again. Now some space out to the right. Good defense out there from Australia. And now they're up quickly. Failing to release there, Argentina, I would have thought. Now they're held up, and this will be a scrum down. If it doesn't go over the sideline, it does. It's into touch, held up, and it will be a Wallabies line-out throw. You've just sensed that Australia have gone up a gear here defensively as we go into the last 20 minutes of this game. Oh, my good Lord. Just looking at the NRL, geez, I thought it was going to be a blockbuster contest there in the NRL. People were questioning me, regulars, because understand that obviously I do way more NRL on this channel than any other sport. So you can appreciate there's a lot of rugby league fans that subscribe. And there were quite a few calling me out earlier today saying, you're not doing any of the NRL games, you're doing all rugby union. Jesus. I think that my decision has been vindicated well and truly tonight, because the Storm are putting up a cricket store against the Roosters, and we have had two very enthralling games of rugby. So, Wasted Water Sports decision vindicated here. The Rugby Championship was indeed the way to go today. The NRL has had a bollocksing by the Broncos over the Bulldogs. As Argentina now, the mistakes are creeping in. The kick's gone out on the fall. And momentum is starting to swing firmly in favour of the home team here. The Wallabies getting themselves on top. So yeah, in the NRL, we had an absolute bollocking by the Broncos over the Bulldogs. It seemed like a decent enough game between the Cowboys and Manly, but still, to nobody's surprise, the Cowboys got the win. And we've got an absolute schmozzling here as the Melbourne Storm are just tearing the Roosters apart. So, yeah. Decision well and truly vindicated to join my rugby union crew today over the rugby league crew. Cheers to good decision making. I'll drink to that. 17 points all here. 20 minutes to go. Just over 20 minutes to go. Oh, good pressure there from the Argentinian. Oh, the great work there. Great work. Getting over there, Grondona, and stealing the ball. The Argentinian flanker earns himself that penalty. The Wallabies were just starting to get themselves on top. And then Grondona, a play out of absolutely nowhere. Now, surely, Argentina start thinking about taking the three. There are 3 points on offer right here, right out in front of the posts. And surely they've got to start thinking about going down my method, my coaching method of taking the three, putting the scoreboard pressure on. Surely now is the time. Iskro out there on the right-hand edge, pulled up a bit lame after that play. And they are indeed taking the three. 17 points all, trying to break this deadlock. Boffelli, as a chorus of boos rings out across the stadium, trying to put the man off his game. He moves in, strikes it, It's got the distance. It's got the angle. It's over. It's 3 points. They've finally listened to me and taken the 3 points. Oh, how different this scoreboard could have looked if teams just take the 3 points on offer. I understand the mentality of going for the try. 5, potentially 7 points is worth more than 3, obviously. But when you've been given a gift 3-pointer and you are well and truly on top, as Argentina were for large portions of this game, it made no sense to me at all to knock back those 3 points. Box kick, pressure on the kick chase. It's taken down. It's loose at the back from Australia, but Wright is there to clean up. And they have the ball on halfway. They've done well to secure possession there. The Wallabies. Now Wright puts the kick in. Oh, it's straight down the throat of the man at the back. We've got a penalty to the Wallabies. Take the 3. They were inside the 10 there, Argentina. Take the 3. Seriously, nullify the 3 points Argentina just got. Oh, he did knock that on too. Lucky to get away with that at the end of the day. If it were up to Australia, would you rather have the scrum, 22 out, or this penalty from right out in front? Probably the penalty. They can take the 3 here. Oh, they're not taking the 3. Cooper's going to bang this into the corner. Wallabies, it was not a gift 3-pointer by any stretch of the imagination, but still, I'd have taken it. 20 minutes to go, plenty of time. Scoreboard pressure, I don't understand it. The way of thinking in rugby teams has changed, hasn't it? There is absolutely no way that any rugby coach or rugby team would have even considered knocking back a shot at the gift 3 points back in the day. Times they have changed, huh? The Wallabies put it into the corner. They want the try. They want to make a statement here in front of the home fans. Spreading it left, Alatoa, one off the ruck. Now they go back to the open side. Solid defense in the middle from Argentina. Laying all over the ruck here, though. Do just enough to get away. Threatening the middle of the ruck area. Now, quick hands. Bete trying to get one-on-one with his opposite. And they're going backwards at a rate of knots here. Karevi is caught with the ball. And they've lost about 20 metres here, Australia. They're back outside the 22. And Argentina putting in some hits. Defending well. Cooper changes direction. Wright, nowhere to go. Solid defence again. They've held him up. Wright does get to ground eventually. Bete picks up and drives. Another pick and drive. Nowhere to go here for Australia. Told to release Argentina with. And now it's a loose. And the Wallabies come away with the error. And there we go. We come back once again. They've knocked back the 3 points that would have levelled the scores. They could have been 20 all. Had the ball back again. Secured possession. Cleared. Reset. Reload. Go again. Instead, they've gone for the glory. Argentina have lifted in defence. They've repelled the attack. And they win the scrum here. Argentina. Loose play from the Wallabies. They forced the mistake. And Argentina hold on to a 3-point lead. Full time in the NRL, 30 points to 16. Melbourne have done an absolute number on the Roosters. An absolute bloody number. So, yes, once again, I mean, look, what do you reckon, chat room? Do you agree with me or not? The 3 points are on offer in an international game of rugby. Take the points. Put the scoreboard pressure on. Obviously, there's going to be moments where that becomes irrelevant. If you're behind by 13 inside the last 10 minutes, obviously there's no value in taking the 3. But this far out, when there's still 20 minutes to go, surely you take the 3 points. You put scoreboard pressure on. I mean, if you miss, you miss. You get the ball back anyway from the dropout. Take the 3. Take the bloody 3. Both teams have left a lot of points out there, potentially, knocking back the opportunities at penalty goal. Scrum down here. Thank you, Dan Jam. Thank you. It's Rugby 101. I don't know what's happened. In recent times, I don't know what's happened. Teams knocking back gift three-pointers. Argentina win the scrum. Very solid. And a good clearance, and it's a mistake at the back from Tom Wright. That's knocked on. Surely that's knocked on. It would have been very difficult to call. Neither referee's assistant or the referee himself was in position to call that. But that looked like a clear-cut knock-on at the back from Tom Wright. And the Wallabies have dodged a gigantic bullet there. And now they've got a chance to break away. McWright in space. Now they've knocked it on eventually. And this one is called. Oh, I feel like they got away with murder at the back there, Tom Wright. Be interesting to see a replay. And yes, it's just all going pear-shaped here for the Wallabies. They're starting to blow up. They're starting to get into the niggle. Goldilocks is getting into it. Goldilocks is getting into it with Iskro. Goldilocks against anybody is a bit of a mismatch. But yeah, just forcing. Oh, I said 9. I went 9 points. James Jason Bourne Identity Jones. I went 9 points. It was a little bit more than 9 points. Oh, Eddie Jones is having the blow-up of all blow-ups. He's broken his headset. Eddie Jones is not happy. Not a happy camper at all. And this is what the blow-up's all about. Tom Wright's had a lash out with his boot. And then Valentini has completely unnecessarily come and shoved him in the back and knocked him on his ass. This is unnecessary from the Wallabies. They are not that far behind that they need to start getting involved in all this niggle. Completely unnecessary. This should be a penalty to Argentina by all rights. And the home side, the home team are just losing the plot here. The Wallabies losing the plot. They are just absolutely losing the plot here, Australia. Completely unnecessary from Valentini. And now this penalty is going to get turned around. And it's going to be Argentina ball. Penalty turned around, which I don't quite understand. In all honesty, I don't quite understand. You get the penalty reversed for a reaction, but if you've reacted to something that was illegal in the first place, shouldn't the first illegality still stand? I don't know. But hey, look, you know the rules going in. If you react, if you take control out of the referee's hands and go into business for yourself, you know what you're doing. Valentini knew exactly what he was doing there. He had a complete and total brain fart. You've got to leave it to the on-field referee to be the sole judge. If you take the law into your own hands like that, you risk something like this happening. I still think it's a little harsh that a reaction outweighs the original illegality, but oh, now Argentina, they've got the ball. Oh, the referee's he's all tangled up in the ruck. He's down. The crowd cheers. They love that. They love seeing the ref down at the bottom of a ruck. He's got himself up and back into play. Great work there from the referee. Argentina securing the ball now. They're looking very threatening. 14 minutes to go. Argentina securing the ball. They're over the top of the ball here. Australia, surely this is Wallabies' ball. No. Argentina managed to secure it. A little bit dodgy at the ruck time there, I must admit. just tunneling the ball back. I thought that was now outlawed to do that, but anyway. Argentina through the phases again. They're 10 phases in now. If they secure this, yes, 10 phases in. There's no shape out to the left. The winger getting a little ahead of himself. And now the kick through to Tom Wright, who has made a complete and total cack of it at the back. Knocking the ball on under no pressure. And Argentina, what a result that is for them. Oh, they're dancing and singing in the crowd. Los Pumas, they are almost there. They're almost there. We've got 13 minutes to go, or thereabouts, and they are very nearly there, the Pumas. They've got one hand on this game. They've got a scrum down inside Wallabies 22. They've got a massive, massive open field to the right to play with. A try here would all but secure it. The way that this has been going. Oh, look, it'd be hard to suggest they don't deserve it. Argentina, in my opinion, have been the better of two fairly dodgy sides. If I'm being perfectly honest, they've both not looked as good as their competitors in the Rugby Championship. Now here they go outright. Oh, it's well read. Well read by Quade Cooper. And Cooper laying all over the wrong side of the ruck. That's going to be in a penalty advantage. Argentina, Quade Cooper got himself trapped in there. It was good defense. Almost too good at the end of the day because he got himself trapped on the wrong side of the ruck. And now straight through a gaping hole goes Carreras. And that is the try for the Pumas. Oh, they've come to life in the crowd. The Argentinian fans are up and about. And look at how many of them there are. I talked about it at the top of the stream, how it felt like there was some quiet little boos around the stadium when the Wallabies ran out. And looking around this wide shot of the stadium, there are a lot of supporters for Argentina here. Oh, whose defensive channel is that? Carreras has just gone straight through. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch at the back, a weak attempted tackle. It's not his fault, this try, though, but still he needs a better effort than that. That was all done in the front line. Carreras has gone straight through Parecki. Parecki with a really weak attempted tackle there. And Carreras takes full advantage. And that was slick from Argentina. And Beanie's in the crowd is not happy. He is not impressed with what he's seen. Argentina with the boil over. It's on. There is still 10 minutes to go. There's still time enough. The conversion from the right-hand sideline is straight down the middle. Argentina lead by 10 points. 10 minutes to go. The boil over is on. Michael Checker versus Eddie Jones. And Michael Checker might have just pulled off the ambush of all ambushes. And he is a happy man in the coach's box. 10 points lead, 10 minutes to go. Argentina, can they grind this one out? Or will that decision, right on the stroke of halftime, come back to haunt them with the 3 points they left out there? Desperation in defense for the Wallabies here. But this is now Argentina's game to lose. They can control this last 10 minutes. Box kick inside their own 22. Pressure on the kick chase. This time, Tom Wright secure at the back. Just putting it as far upfield as they can. Argentina and saying, Australia, you come at us. You attack us. Backing their defense to hold on. 9 minutes to go. Marky Mark out to Corbett. Corbett gets on the outside. He's got Cooper in support. And great cover defense. Cooper keeps it alive to Karevi. Oh, Karevi, has he dropped it? Has Karevi got the ball down? It bounced out. This could be a try. It looks like a try. It must be a try. The way that ball just went squirting up into the air, though. Did Karevi ground this cleanly? Oh, there's still a big story to tell here in this game. Try is good. Yeah, he planted it down. No problem at all with the try. Argentina, did they go to sleep prematurely here? Did they hit the snooze button thinking that the game was won? The Wallabies are back. There is still more story to tell in this one. 27-22, kick to come. Quade Cooper lines it up. 10 in from touch. His favoured side on the left. He's been kicking well tonight. One thing that you can definitely give him. He moves in. He strikes this one well as Quade Cooper, whatever he has done in his time away, kicking cans, I think Vopsy or James, one of the regulars in the chat room said, kicking cans. It's been paying dividends, though, that's for sure. Quade Cooper has been immense with the boot tonight. 27-24. 7.5 minutes to go. It's not over yet. Argentina, they hit the snooze button, didn't they? They were trying to sit on that 10-point lead. And now it's a 3-point lead. You hit the snooze, you lose. Valentini has got the ball from the kickoff. Oh, what did I say at the top? It goes back to Gordon for the clearing kick. It's an aimless kick right down the middle of the field. And Argentina can return it with interest and put pressure on. Gordon is up and takes it well, though. Good job there by Goldilocks. He might be out of his element in a fight, but he seems pretty secure under the high ball. And now Australia, they've got their tails up. A charging run here from Angus Bell, and they're up towards the halfway line. All the momentum is with the home team now, but Cooper kicks it away, and it's straight down the throat. And Carreras can return it, and return it. By God, he doesn't. That's lost forward by Gordon. Surely they get away with, and that is definitely lost forward this time by Gordon. He can't get away with the second one. I don't understand how he got away with the first knock on, keeping that ball in the field of play. Clearly went forward, and the rugby gods have once again stepped in tonight to make sure the right call is made. The Wallabies, what were they thinking there anyway? Fluffing their lines again, and the rugby gods have stepped in, and Argentina have rightly got this ball back. 4 meters out from the line, big open side to the left, holding on to a 3-point lead. 6 minutes to go, 5.5 to be precise. Firing it out across in front of the post. Phase 6 now. Argentina close. 5 out. Numbers to the left. It's been intercepted. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch is away to win the game for Australia. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Marky Mark. And he scores under the post to win the game, surely, for Australia. Totally against the run of play. Argentina, they had all the numbers to the left. They just needed to go through the hands. They went for the glory pass. It was red. It was all or nothing there from Marky Mark. All or nothing for the Wallabies. If he doesn't bag that intercept, Argentina score and win. He did get the intercept. Oh, look at that. Look at the numbers. 2 on 1, 3 on 1. It was an all or nothing play. Glory or insanity awaited for Marky Mark. And he plucks it in out of the sky and scores under the post. And that will surely be the game. Australia, to be fair, extremely undeserving winners tonight. I mean, you hate to say it, but in all honesty, very undeserving of the win tonight. Argentina dominated most of this game. And as I said, what did I say? They're going to come back and rue that decision to not take the points on the stroke of half-time. Unbelievable scenes here in the Rugby Championship. And this has set up a blockbuster battle between the Wallabies and the All Blacks. It will essentially be for the Rugby Championship. 3.5 to go. 4 points the difference. It's been knocked on by Australia at the back. Oh, there's still time. Can Argentina break Wallaby hearts? Not like that. Great counter ruck. Australia goes straight over the top, but they go straight over the top with no support, and that's loose, and this will come back. The first knock-on was by the Wallabies at the kickoff, and Argentina, oh, they hit the snooze button big time, and they find themselves in a horrible scenario. Connor Crowley says, I will be celebrating tonight if Australia win. We've got a little bit of an injury break here for Argentina. Oh, it's still on here. It's still on.
So the back player kicks the ball and then is tackled late by a goal player. 12 goal. Can you hear me?
All right, still down for this injury break. I wonder what we're looking at here. Seems like there's some sort of potential foul play. Oh, yes, we're looking at something up on the screen. 12 gold after the kick. That is Karevi. Oh, Karevi. Could the Wallabies be a man down for the last 2.5 minutes? And is the last 2.5 minutes enough for Argentina to steal this one? Oh, it's 10. It's Cooper. Cooper's a little bit weak there. But Cooper has clipped him high. He's gone down like he's been shot by a sniper. Oh, this is what we're looking at now. 12. Oh, he's been taken out. Okay. Karevi has taken out the chaser, Carreras. So this will be a penalty to Argentina. Just a penalty, although he has taken him technically in the air. I don't think there's really anything in Cooper's incident. But this will be a penalty to Argentina. And, oh, is there a twist in this game still yet to come? It's going to be a penalty to the Pumas. Second half heart attack, says Ed Vogel. Here we go. How much distance can they get? Carreras puts it into the corner. Oh, not enough distance there, in my opinion. Not enough distance to set up a rolling maul of any value, but we'll see. Got to win the line out first. 2 minutes to go. Australia ahead by 4. 10 metres out from the line. Argentina will set up this line out. They will surely look to drive. Australia do not contest. They just set up the defence of the rolling maul. Argentina have got good shape at the back, though. Great shape. Now they're marching forward, bringing numbers in. Same maul. They break away. Close to the line here, Argentina. Can they steal it? They're so close to the line now. They're a ruler's length out. The ruck is formed. Argentina, centimetres short of the line. Close. 5 phases. Securing possession. There'll be nothing fancy here. Do not expect this ball to go wide. They are going to play this in close. They are going to try and barge over. They're going to try and earn a penalty advantage. Close. Australia. Collapse it again. Over they go. Argentina have just scored. He's reached over the top. Has he got it down? Has he got the ball down? He's just It's gone up as a try. It's gone up as a try. Argentina have potentially just stolen this one from under the noses of the Wallabies. 32-31 kick to come. Oh, somebody please go back to the top of the stream and find out what my score prediction was. I am fairly certain I said 32-30, one way or the other. It's close. I am fairly sure I said 32-30. I mean, I might not have got the winner right, but it's the scoreline I'm worried about. We need to have a look here. Okay, he reaches out. He reaches out. He's been held up. Valentini's got his arm under here. Now, this has gone up as no try. I mean, this has gone up as a try, sorry. They will check this, but this has very importantly gone up as a try. This went up as a try. That would be almost impossible to overturn. If it went up as no try, it would be almost impossible to give. Conversion is over. Conversion is successful, and that is time. Argentina, very deserved, to be honest, very deserved win. I said when Australia got that intercept try and scored under the post, and you thought it was all over, I called it live. I said, honestly, you've got to admit that's an undeserving win for the Wallabies. Dominated for most of that game. And they've stolen it. But Argentina, oh, they've held on. They've stolen it back. And what a game we have just witnessed. Michael Cheika leading Argentina to victory here against his old team. Eddie Jones is now 0 from 2 since coming back at the helm of the Wallabies. A nightmare start for Eddie Jones. A 0% success rate after 2 games. Oh, that was intense. 34-31. Argentina have stolen it. But in all honesty, quite deservingly so. Argentina, in my opinion, were the better of 2 fairly poor teams tonight. There is a clear hierarchy to this Rugby Championship in 2023. South Africa and the All Blacks are at the top. We don't know exactly where South Africa stand, in all honesty. They had a very disastrous start. But for a lot of those players out there for the Springboks tonight, it was their first game. They hadn't had a proper hit out. So I don't think that performance is going to reflect where they stand at World Cup time. But yeah, at the moment, it's the All Blacks and South Africa just miles ahead of these two. A great game tonight, but you do get the feeling that these two teams are just playing to not come last. And Argentina, they never said die. They absolutely never said die, and they hung in there, and they bagged that try at the very end. Oh, what a roller coaster of emotions for the home team. An absolute roller coaster. You thought that they'd won it with 3 minutes to go. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch with the intercept, scoring under the post to put the Wallabies ahead. And then Argentina, they never said die. They never gave up. And they finish with a try to steal it. Justifiably so, as I said. And I think, honestly, even Wallabies supporters, you have to look back on that game and go, look, overall, there were large periods of that game where Argentina were clearly the better of the two teams, and they very much deserve that victory. They very much deserve it. It would have been, in my opinion, a little bit unjust if the Wallabies steal that win off an intercept. Really, in all honesty, it would have been very, very unjust for that to have been the last say in this contest. Well done, Argentina, with the victory. Michael Checker gets one over Eddie Jones. Oh, that was intense. Oh, I'm so... See? Hey, I was questioned. People questioned, why are you doing the Rugby Championship over the NRL? I'll tell you why. It's a better game. I'm sorry. I know that you all love your NRL, and I appreciate that. I love it too. But when push comes to shove, I'm going with the world game. I'm sorry. And I was vindicated tonight because all the games of NRL were fairly average, and we saw two very, very high-quality, solid games of rugby union tonight. It could very easily have been two blowout games, and I would have looked foolish. I would have looked a fool to myself. But I feel like I made the right call. Plus, the other thing is the Rugby Championship only goes for a few weekends. Rugby League, it's still going. It's still got a long way to go. So, plenty more Rugby League games to go. Speaking of which, who are you talking about there? James Jason Bourne, Sonny Bill Williams. Sonny Bill, geez, now I can't speak. Sonny Bill Williams. Sonny Bill, yeah, there we go. Yes, I must say that a lot of former players just can't quite, they're not quite right for TV commentary, are they? I mean, a lot of them. Honestly, a lot of them. Hey, I really feel like the rugby gods stepped in a lot tonight. I really do. There are a couple of contentious decisions that went either way. I mean, to be honest, James Jason Bourne Identity Jones, to be perfectly honest, I'm gonna say I don't mind Cooper Cronk. I think Cooper Cronk hated him as a player. He was a dirty Queenslander. But he actually goes all right on TV. I think Braith Anasta's fantastic as well as the host of NRL 360. Mick Innes goes okay. Yep, 100%. Yep, I'm on board with that one. Mick Innes as well. Look, James Graham's great on his podcasts and everything. If you've never listened to it, I suggest it's actually a really good listen. You wouldn't have thought it, but James Graham and Brandon Smith do a podcast together every week. And I've actually got to give Brandon Smith is not someone I would have picked as good on a podcast. And a lot of that is based on the Wasted Water Sports shout-out video that he did for Vobsy. To be fair, it was a terrible, terrible shout-out video. But in all honesty, he does well on that podcast. It's actually a valuable listen, I think. And yeah, James Graham, he's great. Who else? Who else is good? Obi, welcome back. Dan Jam says, I like the Buy Round channel. Oh, who's on that? That sounds familiar. That's James Graham's channel, isn't it? Is that James's channel? You almost fell asleep. Oh, how could you fall asleep during that game? It went right down to the wire. Absolutely incredible. Anyways, what was I talking about before I got onto the MMA? Soiru says favorite Wallaby ever. Oh, I'm going to say Daniel Herbert. Honestly, Daniel Herbert was such, and not just because his name was Daniel, and Dan is such a fantastic name. You know, might be a little bit biased there in that. But no, look, Daniel Herbert, I feel, was a really underrated international player. There wasn't more than one of him. Although it felt like it sometimes. It felt like sometimes there was more than one Dan Herbert on defense. But yeah, Daniel Herbert, I felt like was a really underrated international player. He is not somebody that would have made it to a lot of people's World 15 teams. But he was always solid. Always solid. He always showed up. He was always at least an 8 out of 10 player. I don't remember him ever having a bad game. Dan Herbert, Wallaby centre, great player. Always threatened the line in attack. Always made his hits in defence. Obi says, okay, Oz can be dangerous after 2 losses. Hope the All Blacks are prepared. Judging by what we saw earlier tonight, the All Blacks are prone to a little bit of sleepy time themselves. I mean, we saw that tonight. Argentina had this game well in command. 10 minutes to go. 10-point lead. Argentina hit the snooze button. Luckily for Argentina, all they did was hit the snooze button and they didn't just go back to sleep completely because they woke up again with a couple of minutes to go, didn't they? But yeah, the All Blacks, they started with unbelievable intensity in that game earlier, 17 points to 0 up inside the first 17 minutes, but then it was all largely even for the rest of the contest. Look, I would not be quick to write off the Wallabies. Yeah, they got decimated last week against the Springboks, and they had their opportunities this week, and they really didn't get into the game. But yeah, I would never write off the Wallabies at home against the All Blacks, and I'm pretty sure that they're playing at home, with the first game at least. But wow, speaking of this contest though, what a match. It seesawed all the way. It was very exciting. 989 subscribers for the Wasted World of Sports. Thank you so much, everybody. As we continue this, this is honestly the fastest that any of my channels have grown. Honestly, it took my gaming channel so my gaming channel that is at 8.6 thousand subscribers, it took about 4 years, I think, to get the first 600. The first 600. This channel has only really been going for, this is the second season, so a season and a half, or a season and 3/4 of NRL. And we're almost at the 1,000 mark, so this has definitely been the most successful channel so far that I've had. So thank you. That's all you. That's all you, chat room. Nothing to do with me. I just come here and stand and talk and hit the go live button. It's all you. So thank you. Shack of Hearts says must fix their discipline. Maximiliano Castro says vamos Pumas. Shack of Hearts says from a neutral standpoint that game was awesome. 100%. Obi says if Aggro makes an appearance, I'll be impressed. Hey, I will make that my ambition. That will be my ambition. I'll try and get Aggro. We've had an appearance from Brandon Smith, the Cheese. We've had an appearance from Fletch, from the Fletch and Heidi show. I'll work on Aggro next. I'll tell you what, though, I'd be even more impressed with Alf. Alf was my favourite puppet over Aggro, I've got to be honest. They just look lazy in all areas of the game. Yeah, they fall in and out of games. Both of these teams do, to be honest, and that's why it was such a great close contest. Because both teams are capable of falling in and out of the game. I mean, look, Argentina had that one with 10 minutes to go. But then Australia had the game won with 2.5 minutes to go. Both teams just fall in and out of contests. Adolfo says, Vamos Pumas. Diego says, I hope that Argentina reach the final in the World Cup. Oh, what a turn-up that would be. What an absolute great result. What a great result it would be for World Rugby if Argentina go deep, deep into the Rugby World Cup. In all honesty. It'd be great. From the sport perspective, how good would it be for just two completely different teams to participate in a World Cup final? How great would it be? Ireland versus France. I would love to see an Ireland versus France Rugby World Cup final. Argentina, as has just been said. Imagine if Argentina caused a couple of boilovers and made it as well. It'd be fantastic for the sport. Yoshi Boy says, how are you going to go with the All Blacks up next? Well, I won't be going anywhere because I don't play anymore. I do miss playing. I really do. Busted both my knees. That was the end of my sporting career before it even started. Oh, well. Them's the breaks. Obi says, I hope you don't own a cat. We know what Malmachians are like. Oh, yeah. They love their cats. They do love their cats. Adolfo says, greetings to the gong from Bolivia. I hope the Dragons will win next NRL. Oh, geez, I wouldn't put money on that, to be honest. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. The MMA Soiru actually pointing out a very glaring, false, misleading statement that I just made before, saying that I'd like to see somebody new in the Rugby World Cup final, and you're absolutely right, aren't you? The MMA France have already lost the Rugby World Cup final 3 times. All right, sorry France, bollocks to you. You're out, and Argentina are in. France are out, Argentina are in. Ireland versus Argentina, Rugby World Cup final. You'd love to see it. It's crazy, isn't it, to think that I just blind forgot up until MMA's just pointed it out to me and thankfully corrected me. I had actually completely forgot that France have been in the World Cup final that many times. That is actually crazy to think about, isn't it? Yeah, bollocks to them. They don't deserve to be there then. Ireland versus Argentina. What a turn-up that would be. I'll tell you what, though. France are, in my opinion, looking pretty good. I have actually had my eye on the French since a couple of years ago. It was 2 or 3 seasons ago. They sent basically a junior team over here to Australia. It was a glorified B team. I mean, it was legitimately a B team. And they nearly got the job done. They nearly won the series. So I think there's a lot of depth at the moment in French rugby. But yes, I had completely forgotten. And yeah, thank you, MMA, for pulling me up on that one. That's crazy. I had completely forgotten they have actually been in 3 Rugby World Cup finals. That's insane to think about. Like, for a team that are usually pretty average, to think that they've made it to 3 World Cup finals is insane. No wonder I forgot. But yes, absolutely, a lot more consistent these days. User 3057 says Pumas loser. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see the scoreboard there, but they certainly weren't losers tonight. User 3057. Oh, that was such an intense game. I'm so glad that I caught both of those games. That was great viewing. Very exciting stuff. Shack of Hearts says Wallabies have a grueling road to the Rugby World Cup 2023. All Blacks twice and France. Oh yeah, look, I don't think that the Wallabies are going to be any threat at all. They'll be no threat at all come World Cup time, in my honest opinion. I thought that Eddie Jones was probably the man to turn this team around, but probably not so quickly at the same time. We are so close to the World Cup, and Eddie Jones, he's just come on board, he's taken over the team. It's all too soon. I don't think you can turn it around that quickly. If they're willing to get behind Eddie for a full World Cup cycle, get behind for a full World Cup cycle, and maybe it turns around next time. I just don't think that they're a chance at all for this one. The best that they can probably hope for is a boil over or two, but I think the Wallabies are just lacking in some key areas at the moment. Really not any sort of World Cup threat, in my opinion. But we'll see. Anything can happen on the day, and that's the beauty of world sport, isn't it? That's the beauty of world sport. Not just rugby, not just rugby union. Not just rugby league, cricket, anything. The beauty of sport. Anything can happen on the day. A bounce of the ball, a referee decision, absolutely anything can happen on the day that turns the whole thing around and makes a fool out of everyone. Okay, Obi. Obi says you can have Fozzie after the Rugby World Cup. Obi, I think you might have been mistaken about me. So, I'm a little bit of an enigma myself. So, born and raised in Australia, but Irish Kiwi heritage. Now, this is where it gets interesting for me, Obi. My dad is a big rugby league supporter, so I got into the rugby league. Now, my grandmother on my mother's side of the family, she loved, being of French Polynesian descent. She loved all the Kiwi teams. So whenever, and I spent most of my childhood because we're in the same state. I spent a lot of my childhood with my grandmother. So I would watch sports with her, and it was always the rugby and going for New Zealand. And so I had that side of the family, and this is where I'm such an enigma, because in the rugby league, I go for the Cronulla Sharks. Like I was born in Newcastle, so I go for the Sydney teams. I go for New South Wales in the state of origin. In the rugby union, though, I go for Queensland in the Australian rugby. I go for the Crusaders in Super Rugby, or the Chiefs. The Chiefs are I've got a soft spot for the Chiefs. But because growing up, I spent all my time with my grandmother from the Kiwi side of the family, I just got pulled into supporting New Zealand, so I go for the All Blacks. So when it comes to the rugby union, which is my preferred sport, All Blacks all the way. All these... When I was little, I was getting torn in all these different directions. So when it came to rugby league, on my dad's side of the family, it was all rugby league and the Australian teams and the New South Wales teams. But I spent all that time with my grandma. So, for example, I hate the Australian cricket team. Cannot stand them. I will go for whoever is playing in the Australian cricket team at the time. Because when I spent that time with my grandmother, she was always cheering against Australia. She had two teams. My grandmother had two teams in the cricket, New Zealand and everybody who was playing Australia. And so because I spent so much time, I hope that makes a little bit more sense anyway, because obviously here, Australian, born and raised, Australian YouTube channel, covering the rugby union. Yeah, please don't mistake me as a Wallabies supporter. Yeah, it's hard to explain sometimes because, yeah, everybody's like, oh, shouldn't you go for Australia? You live here. I'm like, why? I've never gone for them. In the rugby I'm talking about. Orlando Ariel, ahoy there. Saludos desde Argentina. I don't know if I said that right. Yoshi Boy says, I thought you looked Argentinian. It's funny you should say that because there was, I'm sure, there was somebody out there that, there was somebody out there for Argentina, and I think I actually called it in the live stream. I'm like, holy Christ, it's my doppelganger out there. The MMA Soiru says, bring back Radiki Samu. Radiki Samo, sorry. Hey, I'm sorry, Jason Bourne, Identity Jones. I'm sorry, but like I grew up in the era of the Steve Waugh-led Australian cricket team, and I think that even Australian cricket fans, look, with the benefit of hindsight, they were obviously a great team. What did they do? Like 16 world record, 16 test match wins in a row or something like that. But honestly, as their behavior on field, I think you can honestly say nothing would have been better than to see some of those smug gits get brought back down to earth. Honestly. I mean, they were, excuse the language, quality team, but on the field, they were right assholes. They were very unlikable people on the field. I can't speak for off the field. I don't know any of them. But on the field, it was very, very easy to support against them because they just came across so unlikable. And then, as I said, in the background, obviously watching cricket with the Kiwi side of my family, you can understand why I ended up falling on the side of the ledger that I fell in certain sports. It all makes sense when you hear the backstory of the family dynamic when it comes to sport. But I can understand why it might be confusing. Anyway, I just wanted to clear that up because, I didn't want to. I certainly didn't want to carry on and be labelled as a Wallaby supporter because I would have thought that throughout the rugby streams that I've done, it's clear that I'm not. Not that it's a problem. Yes, cheers to Warnie. We'll have a drink to Warnie. User 3057 says, go out to the party. What party? I'll go to a party if there's a party on. I'll more than happily go to a party if there's one on. Jason Bourne, Identity Jones. You realise that's what I'm going to call you all the time now. He was a major player, but not the heartbeat. I would say, now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but would you be in agreement in saying that even with Warnie in the team, if you remove Glenn McGrath, you don't have as strong a team. Is that fair to say? Because that son of a bitch, boy, was he consistent. Shack of Hearts says, if it wasn't clear that you're not a Wallabies supporter, it will be clear at the Bledisloe Cup. You heard it here first. All Blacks going to win. And plus, Shack of Hearts, you would have been around last year for the... you would have been around last year on Waste to Water Sports for the Bledisloe Cup streams. And yes, my true colours certainly come out at Bledisloe Cup time, don't they? Yeah, anyone who's been on Waste to Water Sports for a Bledisloe Cup team knows where my loyalty lies in rugby union. Michael Datheri says, what happened? Eddie Jones, 2-zip. Oh, don't get me started on Australia discarding New Zealand coaches. Well, first and foremost, Eddie Jones, Jesus Christ. First and foremost, Australia had in their grasp. Let me paint this picture, okay? Let me paint this picture. Robbie Deans, one of, if not the most successful Super Rugby coach of all time. That is now into question because Scott Razor Robertson has done a job with the Crusaders, hasn't he? But I just look at Robbie Deans. Robbie Deans was a coach of the Crusaders when Super Rugby was a much more competitive, in my opinion, competition. It was a lot harder to win in Robbie Dean's days, and he won so many of those competitions. One of the greatest Super Rugby coaches of all time, and the Wallabies secure him. He was turning that team around. The players, though, it was the players who boycotted. The players did not get on board with what Robbie Deans was preaching. They started blaming Robbie Deans for the results. I still stand by the fact that you can only coach with the cattle that you've got given to you. He was trying to turn things around for Australia. He was trying his very best, and he was getting results. The players, I don't know what it was. The players started to revolt. And not for the first or last time in an Australian squad have the players pushed back against a coach and got them first. Ewan McKenzie got forced out of the team because of a player revolt. And he was proving to be a successful Wallabies coach as well. But still, I'm talking about Robbie Deans. So he gets cast out from the Wallabies. What does he do? He goes to Japan. He goes to club rugby in Japan and goes on an absolute tear. He coaches in Japan and wins 7 or 8 in a bloody row over there as well. So Australia go and get rid of a fantastic coach. They go through coaches like changes of underwear from there on in, and they're further back than where they started. Let's be honest. And then they bring David Rennie in, and the same thing. I felt like David Rennie was on the brink of a breakthrough a couple of times. Yes, he chopped and changed the team a lot, but I think he did it with a purpose. I think he was chopping and changing a lot, trying to find out, are you guys up to it? These players that I've picked, are you up to the job? Let's find out. Let's throw you in there. And the public started to revolt against the results, but the thing is, he was moving towards a bigger picture. And I just find it interesting. It was perfectly set for a coach to come on board and yield the benefits of what Rennie had set in place. And before him, other coaches. The fact that Eddie Jones is 0 from 2 has got to be a little bit alarming, really. The MMA Soru says he had a weird relationship with Gitto for some reason. Didn't pick you. Oh, are we talking about, who are we talking about? 2011. Are we talking about Robbie Deans? I think the thing, if we're talking about Robbie Deans, I think the thing with Deans, he would have been, Oh god, and I don't want to speak out of line here because when did the Ghetto law come into place? When did the Ghetto law come into effect? Because if he was an overseas player, Robbie Deans does strike me as the type of coach that would have been all about. Okay, so the Ghetto law came in 2015. Yeah, okay. I didn't want to say anything out of line, so I won't go into it. That might not have been the case then. But anyways, I felt like Ghetto was I felt like Ghetto was an overrated player anyways at the best of times, to be perfectly honest. Yeah. I really don't think that he was anywhere near as good as he was made out to be. But that could be just me. Really, really overrated player. Especially as a fly half. Like, he was never a fly half. I don't know why they persisted with that for so long. I think he clearly made more of a name for himself as an inside centre, and that was probably his spot, inside centre. Oh, no, not forgetting Shaq Varts, just yet totally, admittedly glossed over. I glossed over quite a few names there, but yeah, Michael Cheika. I don't know that Michael Cheika had the team turned around, though, per se, if that makes sense. I don't know that the Wallabies really overall improved under Michael Cheika. As I've said, I said a very controversial thing a couple of weeks ago about Michael Cheika would actually be on. Yeah, I know, but that was completely against the run of everything, wasn't it? And that was nothing to do with. Yeah. I get your Shack of Hearts. You see what I'm saying? Because I said a few weeks ago, whenever it was we were talking about it, who's going to take over as the New South Wales Blues coach? Should there be a position available? And I actually said, get Michael Cheika in the coaching squad, not as the head coach, just as a man motivator, because he's a great man motivator. He lifted that team way beyond where they deserve to be in the Rugby World Cup. And that comes back to your point there, Shack of Hearts. They did get to the Rugby World Cup final, but let's not forget they got to the Rugby World Cup final on the back of Craig Joubert completely Amber Hearding the bed and making a disastrous decision against Scotland in the quarterfinal, I believe it was. Was it the quarterfinal that he made that call? Absolute disaster of a decision that robbed Scotland of the victory and put Australia through. So, but anyway, despite that, we've got an interview on the sideline with Eddie Jones here on Stan Sport, and Eddie Jones is just eye-to-eye height with Alana Ferguson. Now, she's either wearing heels or Eddie Jones is a very, very tiny man. Decision-making and discipline, Eddie Jones has immediately pulled out as issues for the current Wallaby squad, which is probably fair. Discipline and decision-making. I think that's totally fair. From what we saw tonight, and that's what I'm saying, Shack of Hearts. Shack of Hearts says, albeit the string that needed to be pulled to get them to the 2015 World Cup final were extraordinary. And that's what I was talking about, Shack of Hearts. Michael Cheika, for the first year or two, is a great man motivator. Fantastic man motivator. And that's why I think bring him into the Blues squad, fire him up for a couple of seasons, and then he can be on his way. He's done his job. And that's what it was like for the Wallabies. He came in, he took over the squad. They punched well above their weight. Yes, very questionable call aside against Scotland. They still got there. You can only play what's in front of you. You can only do with what's happened in front of you. They got there. It's that simple. Like it or not, they got there. And after a couple of years, they punched above their weight and then they just fell away. They lost their way because I don't think he's a tactician. Argentina might find exactly the same thing. I don't know how long he's been at the coaching helm of Argentina, but right now I would say they're punching above their weight. In all fairness, is the same pattern happening? What he did with the Waratahs, he took the Waratahs to Super Rugby finals, winning Super Rugby finals against one of the greatest Crusaders teams to have ever existed. Not the greatest, but they were still up there at the time. And he did that. And then they just fell away. So he's good for a couple of years. He's going to be great for a couple of years. And then it falls away. And that's what I'm saying. Bring him in as a man motivator. He is New South Wales through and through. He likes rugby league. We know that he's a fan of rugby league. Get him involved in the Blues squad as a man motivator. Nothing more, nothing less. Exactly, Shakafarts. Exactly what I was just talking about. He's doing that now with the Pumas. He is a great man motivator. He might not be a great coach or tactician, but you cannot question his ability to motivate his players and bring the best out of them. MMA Soru says you're 8 subs away from 1K. Oh, yeah. Oh, what am I going to do for a 1K celebration? Should we have like a special 1,000 subscriber stream? I would love to do like a little behind-the-scenes tour of the studio here. That'd be nice. I've shared a couple of photos and everything on Discord, but I'd love to do like a full, proper, this is my streaming setup thing. Also, things that I've considered for 1K is Hamish says a game night. We've already got the 1K on Intoxigamer, Hamish. We've already had an 8,000 subscriber celebration on Intoxigamer. That was a few years ago now. But yeah, maybe, I don't know. Think of something. Santiago Núñez, les rompimos la colaca. Oh, there we go, Dan Cham. Yes, he was the coach of Lebanon in the... well, actually, wasn't Freddie Fittler involved in Lebanon as well? Oh, maybe that was before. Maybe that was before the Blues dealio. Maybe Michael Cheika took over from Freddie Fittler at Lebanon at the Rugby League, and then when this job opened up to coach Argentina, he took that. Maybe so. All right, Wasted World of Sports. Thank you so much for your company. I can't think of too much else to bollocks on about, to be perfectly honest. We'll be back tomorrow to cover all the action in the NRL. Back to regular programming. NRL action tomorrow. My Cronulla Sutherland Sharks will be taking on one of their bogey teams. One of many bogey teams. The New Zealand Warriors. So we've got to suss that out. And we'll see. I might not do all the games tomorrow, but I'll certainly do some of the games. Wasted World of Sports, back tomorrow. I'll update the leaderboard. I'll make sure I get the leaderboard updated for tomorrow. All right, that is a guarantee. The leaderboard will be updated because this is the last week. It's round 20, isn't it? Is this NRL round 20? If it's NRL round 20, then we are in the last... Oh, it's round 19. No, wait. It's round 20. Yeah, so we are in the... Yeah, I believe it is. Okay. Shack of Hearts says, right before I go, Shack of Hearts says, also, disastrous news for the Wallabies, adding insult to injury. Len Ikitau is off to hospital to assess the extent of his shoulder injury. Well, there you go. Ikitau, yes, he got hit pretty early on there after he scored that try. So, all right. Wasted World of Sports. We'll be back tomorrow. Round 20. It is the last. So that'll be the last day, essentially. It'll be very interesting to see where everybody is sitting before and after tomorrow's streams. I will, at the very least, do the Sharks game. I'm pretty keen to do the Panthers-Dolphins game as well, because just quietly, I don't want to jinx anything, but just quietly, I sniff a little bit of an upset. I am sensing a little bit of a Wayne Bennett special coming up tomorrow, but we'll see. Wasted World of Sports, thank you so much. Very much appreciate your company, as always. And I will catch you next time. Yes, Discord. Feel free to hang out on the official Wasted World of Sports Discord. It's there a few chats up. I can share it again maybe before I go, but yeah, why not? Let me copy and paste it. There we go. Okay. All right. So I'll hang out and chat on the Discord for a bit for the rest of the evening. But yes, I must go now. And I'll see you tomorrow. For those of you who are interested in the NRL, we'll cover all that action live tomorrow. Thank you once again. Until next time. Cheers.